For all things outdoors, listen to the father of two, the Jesus-loving TV show hosting hairy, true-blood American redneck, Ben Cole.
And listen to the outdoor filming, chef cooking, chocolate milk drinking, John Weissmuller. And we are
Rooted Podcast.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining another episode of Rooted Podcast. This week, very special. I met this gentleman, our guest today, down at the East Tennessee Fishing Show, and he's got some amazing products. Mr. Pete from Rod Warrior USA. How are we today, Pete?
I'm doing great. How y'all?
Awesome, doing fantastic, man. So listen, I was at this show, and like any, trade show, I always find something, right? Because I got to buy something, you know what I mean? So I'm walking around and I find a fishing pole that's just calling my name, and like any good redneck that has too many fishing poles, I bought one more because why not, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm kind of walking out the show, and Pete pops out and he says, "Hey man, you need a rod cover for that pole." And I thought, well, yeah, I guess I kind of do. I'll check you out. And it turns out he's got the baddest rod cover, fishing pole cover on the market, I think. So, Pete, my first question is, what makes your rod cover different? Like, what is it made out of? What makes it so special to you?
Sure. I've been making neoprene fishing rod covers for about 12 or 13 years now. The thing is, I use a really high quality 2mm neoprene, mostly 2mm, which is a nice weight, good thickness, nice protection for your rod. And one of the things is, because I'm small and I make everything myself here in the U.S., I cut each item to order. So if you've got a 7-foot rod, that's my standard 65-inch cover. But if you got a 7.3 and you want something a little bit longer, it's no problem. I'm cutting it anyway. I can cut to your order. If you got a 6.9, like a short little spinning rod, I can do that. I make casting and spinning and separately, of course, because they don't fit with the spinning with the large stripper guides and all that. And when I make my spinning, I don't have any one size fits all. I mean, I got my standard stuff that does work. But if you want something custom fit, I go ahead, I request a couple measurements from you, and I tailor each and every cover to your rod.
Wow. That's pretty awesome.
Also, I got, like in stock, I think I've got 18 colors in stock. And shortly I'll be rolling out colored stitching as well. Something I've been playing around with for more than a year, but never threw on my website because my website, can I say sucks? My website sucks. I've got this old version of a GoDaddy website, and I'm trying to switch over to another vendor. I just never got time to do it yet. And I'm really limited. I can't add a lot of things on the old version because it's so old. I don't have access to it. Anyway.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of good things to come. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, good. So how did you, I guess, start out making neoprene covers? Like what got you into that? What made you want to start this business to begin with?
Gotcha. Well, those mesh covers were always a pain in the butt because you got a couple of micro guide rods and they have a habit of popping through that mesh. And I used to fish the BFLs from the back of the boat. And boy, oh boy, you go to pull a rod sleeve off in the middle of a tournament and your guide is popped through that mesh and you end up cutting the rod sleeve off because you can't, it's all twisted and you can't get your rod out to try to hit that dock that the boater is giving you 10 seconds to flip to, So I wanted a better product. And my son at the time was about 10 years old and he fishes seriously. So we started looking around for neoprene. I bought some really garbage neoprene at a fabric store and played around with it. Bought a cheap sewing machine and played with designs and made something that worked. But it worked just well enough that friends wanted it. And so I found, better neoprene supply, better sewing machines, and I started making it myself. But the whole point was what started was dissatisfaction with what was out there. and make it a better product.
Wow. And that, that's one thing that makes America so awesome is you see something that needs to be fixed and you go out and you make it better. And that's cool. That's the beautiful thing about where we live. We get to do that kind of stuff. But I'm curious about one thing. What is your favorite fish to chase?
I didn't do that.
Huh?
You froze up there.
Oh,
it's all good.
What is your favorite fish to catch?
Well, I live in Pennsylvania, so I got largemouth around me. But my son and I always make an annual trip up to the St. Lawrence, and I just love smallmouth fishing. My personal best, because I don't live down where I get, I don't get great largemouth or anything around here. My personal best is a 6'10" smallie that was just a football and so much fun. I love doing that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome. So we've got a local river here. It's called the Harpeth River, and I love to fly fish that river for smallies. And I make these flies, woolly boogers, and I put a little weight on the front of the hook when I tie them, and just so they can sink down low enough in the water column to get them if they're sitting on the rocks or structure or whatever's in the river at that time. And man, I'll tell you, I was out there last year, had the biggest fish I've ever had in my life on the fly rod. Forgot my net. I was like, Ryan, grab the net, please. Please, this is a huge fish. And he gets the net, hands it to me. I go down to do those scoop and grab, spits the hook. I was like, no, no. Of all the things that could happen, why this? And I ended up catching one that was about that big, about a half pound.
Did you
landed that one?
Did you get it mounted?
Oh yeah.
Did you get it mounted?
Absolutely. Yep. A little half pounder, man. That was the fight of the day was a little half pounder, and I landed that one no problem.
Next week, my son, who's an adult now and lives down in North Carolina, I'm going down to visit him, and we're going to fish for about 4 days on Gaston, and we're going for spots.
Nice.
Probably won't catch anything giant, but according to my son, we ought to put about 20 in the boat a day. So
awesome.
That'll be fun.
Nice. That sounds like a great time. I love to go and fish the flats down in Florida, and I like the offshore stuff too, and the saltwater. That's really my passion is saltwater trout, and I like smallies too. I love catching smallmouth, but I tell you, there's nothing like hooking into even a 5-pound saltwater fish on a fly rod. I mean, they fight so much different.
I never threw a fly rod.
Oh, it's fun.
It's a really good time.
It's fun. It can be really difficult and aggravating. It can be that. So there's sometimes
like anything else.
I got a lot of people asking me to make fly rod covers, like 3 and 4, like 3 and 4 pocket neoprene pieces for the fly rod to fold around and roll up. I've made a couple custom, but it's not something I keep on my site. Some of the stuff I want to build into, I just don't have the experience for, Like I'm starting to do some crappie rod stuff for a crappie rod vendor who came to me. And so I'm dealing with some longer stuff. But yeah, the fly rod covers are something I want to get out there. I just don't know like what's going to be standard enough to work, for people to get what they want.
Right. So what I've got on some fly rod stuff is most of the time they come in hard cases, but inside the hard case is just a fabric cloth pouch that has each individual piece of the rod. You can roll it up, tie it up, and then put it back in that hard case. But it's just fabric. That's all it is. It's not really that protective as far as, obviously the hard case is protective, but if it falls out of your truck or whatever, you can still break an eyelet easy. Easy on that. Just because, I think that the neoprene would be a little bit better option in that because it gives it some shock absorption.
If it still has room to fit into the tube, though, that's the other thing.
Yeah, it could even be a thinner neoprene that's just enough, to give it that shock absorption that you need. I think that would be a solid option because then you could even throw it in your boat and not have the hard case and It's more waterproof, which, I mean, obviously the rods can handle that stuff, but it's still a pretty neat option to think about and to look into, is that, because we're always traveling. I mean, when I bounce around from spot to spot, sometimes I'll just break my rod in half and just put it in my front seat or leave it in the bed of my truck or whatever. But having something that's more portable than simply, having to D-line everything, take the fly off, break it all down into 5 pieces, put it in the pouch, and then put it in the box. It just makes it a lot easier if you can just pull it in half, put it in the sleeve, tie it up, go on to the next spot.
Yep.
And not have to take all the line out.
So Pete, do you still tournament fish today, or
Nah,
or
I don't
are
have
those
time.
days over?
No time to do that. I spent all my time doing this. This used to be a side gig for me, right? It was just something I built up and had fun with, and I did more and more, and I got the website, and then I moved it out of my living room into a shop some years back, and I got a couple of people who come by and help me sew, and it's grown. And I always had that corporate job that paid the mortgage and everything, but it happens. I got laid off just a few months ago. 26 years, they decided to send my job overseas. Yay. Anyway, so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm not going to spin around and work for someone else. I'm going to grow this into everything. So
good for you.
So this little side gig is now my gig, and I'm trying to build it to the point where it takes care of everything. Keeps the house roof over my head, keeps a couple people employed. That's what I like doing.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's basically just the American dream. I mean, kind of going from that 9 to 5, so to speak, into something that's built for you, and it's on your time, and you get to make products that you love, and in your case, you're genuinely helping people in the fishing space, because as you said before, the other options are not so great versus yours, and I think you're just really helping people, and I think that's a great thing. I mean, because as you know, owning a business is not for everybody.
No.
And so I kind of want to dive into that side of things. Like, through your eyes, what is it like owning a business, especially in this outdoor space?
Well, it's fun. First of all, the people are great. Customers are amazing. All right. If anyone who's watching this was or is or will be a customer of mine, I always try to make everything as best I can for you. I'm there for people. My phone on my website is my cell phone. It's funny. People have questions. They call me like Saturday at 2 a.m. They're like, oh, I thought I'd leave a voicemail. It's like, nope, you got my cell phone. So I'm always there for my customers. That's the thing that I like to do. I've seen websites in this thing where people are selling rod sleeves and they don't even have a phone number on it. They don't have an address to get in touch with them. It's just a matter of, hey, send me an email, and that's it. No, I make a personalized product. I stand behind everything I make, and I do it for people. I think that's what sets me aside. Every single piece is custom. That's what I like about this. The way I handle this market is you got great people who fish. I got a lot in common with them. I don't do the tournaments anymore, but I still try to get out on the water. I know what their needs are because they're mine, and I give them what I want for myself.
And I think that's huge, is knowing what the market needs, and just being real and being authentic, and I mean, it's just the truth. How are you going to know what a fisherman needs if you're not out there fishing?
Right.
Just the way.
I do a lot more than rod sleeves too. I mean, one of the things that's a giant part of my business is I make power pole and raptor covers. All right. And they're also, they're made here in my shop. And, talking to people, I'm bringing it up because of the market sector that you're talking about. I've made adjustments to my product from feedback from customers.
Sure.
My covers are different than anyone else's. I got a few more features that help keep it in place and better protect your equipment, right? And that's all from customer feedback.
Nice.
My power pole and Raptor covers are vented, so that if you're going down the highway, because neoprene doesn't breathe, and if you're going down the highway and the air goes into it, that thing will balloon up until it pops off like a rocket right off your thing. That I had a couple of customers come to me with problems like that. So I put a vent into it so that when air comes in, it flows back out and the neoprene doesn't distend. And I put, besides just having a snap to hold the bottom in place, I've got a strap that goes around the pole, which holds it on. So if you put my product on your boat, it's not going anywhere till you want it taken off.
Nice.
Right. And you know, that's a good thing that you're doing too, because ultimately when you take care of your equipment, it's going to last a whole lot longer. And by taking the step of using these neoprene covers on your fishing rods, your power poles, whatever it may be, it's going to last longer and you're going to get far more use out of that particular product.
Yeah, one of the things I think, like, I don't help people catch more fish. I help them catch every fish.
I like that. You need to put that on a T-shirt, dude.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds a little. I don't know. It sounds a little strong for me though. But yeah, I like the way it sounds. But it's true.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Hey, man. You know, if it's true and you truly believe it, I mean, then there you go.
Yep.
That's what you're doing.
Well, the truth of the matter is that if your gear is working like it's supposed to, and you don't have broke eyelets, you don't have a messed up power pole because it's set in the rain for 35 days straight, if that gear is not working, then you're guaranteed not to catch a fish. If you take care of it and cover it with your rod covers and the power pole covers, well, guess what? It's going to be working just fine.
Yeah.
Because it's not as exposed to the elements. So therefore, you are going to catch more fish because your equipment is properly taken care of.
Hey, speaking of taking care of equipment, can I show off a new product I've been working on?
Absolutely.
This one is in the middle of being patented. Give me a second.
Oh, cool.
Give me a second.
Yeah. Tear it up, dude. So, Ben, yeah.
I've been holding this tablet in my hand. Let me see if I can do this. I'll stabilize a little. There.
There we go.
2 hands now. All right. Here's the deal. This is funny. Some places have had this on their websites and all. And some people use them. I made it. It's a bait wrap. Okay. One of the things, a problem I got with bait wraps that are out there in the market now is if you got your bait tied onto the rod, they take the bait and they hold it against the rod and they wrap it onto the rod and around the rod. So what you're doing is when you carry that, you got your hooks scraping into your rod blank, right? Mm-hmm. That's a problem. So what I decided to do is, this is my bait wrap, okay? It's tied on and it's both sides. It's totally encapsulated. It's like an old coin purse, all right?
Huh.
But the deal with this is, you take the flap in the back, put your thumbs under it, and it just pops over. And this is a whopper plopper. We all have been scared to death about getting them hooks in you, right? So you just pop this thing open. It's all vinyl on the inside.
Wow, check that out.
Drop it in. Line goes right there. Put that over. It's tied on. Oops, I just popped that the wrong way. I'm sorry. That's good for live TV. No, just drop that in. Here, get these corners back over like that. There we go. And then the line pulls it up.
Bang.
It's got a hook to go on your reel. And that's in place. Now, if it's tournament day, you can turn it over and no one can see what you got tied on. If it's in your rod locker, you can leave it out and see what's there. The joke I like to make, if it's tournament day and you're me, you leave it like that. So if people use the same bait and not catch the same fish I'm not catching.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like, hey, yeah, if you want to use my bait choice, go for it. Then you won't catch them either. But anyway,
That's funny.
but yeah, this little thing. I was talking to a bait vendor. I got to follow up with the guy. It's you saw me at that East Tennessee show, and everyone's doing their shows. It's hard to get in touch with people. But when I talked to him, this guy had an oversized crankbait, and while he had his back turned, I took it, I dropped it in one of my things, I put it in my pocket. Thing's got like giant hooks on it. And I was talking with him, and he's like, I said, hey, you see that bait? I said, it's in my pocket. He looked at me with a raised eyebrow going, what are you talking about? I pulled the thing out like this because, the hooks aren't going through that. I could just drop that right in my pocket. He was impressed by it. I mean, it's a nice little thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
But this is going to get out there. I know that there is a tackle shop called Hook Up Tackle out in Arizona, and they've got these on their website. Other than that, I got to get out of mine when I got my new website built. But this is, again, talking to people in the market, in this space. This is an improvement to what's out there because the hooks are encapsulated. You get to see what your bait is. You have the option of not showing your bait. You can leave it tied on. At the end of the day, you can just cut it, throw it in your bait locker, and it's stored. Swim baits, right? No, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? The big swim baits that people are using. I'm trying to get into a collaboration with, Swim Bait Universe. It's it's a Facebook group, but I've been talking with them. I want to make these branded for them so that when people have their big $200, $400 baits, this is a way to protect them and use them on the boat. There's one bait manufacturer now out in that market. It's called Piz Swim Baits. They're selling these on their website as well. He's got little bigger ones.
Nice.
But I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm spinning myself down a rabbit hole here. You go ahead.
Hey, you are good. That's what this whole thing's about. Just dive into conversation. So what I'm thinking on that deal, maybe we need a few with the rooted logo. I think it'd be perfect size. You know what I mean? I think the rooted logo fit good across the back of that thing.
Well, that's one of the things also that I like about one of the things I've always tried to do with my product. If you buy a Rod Warrior product, unlike damned near everyone else in the industry, it doesn't scream Rod Warrior all over it. I have a small logo that I put on my stuff. I leave the space available for your logo. Right?
Nice.
When people are buying Power Pole, Raptor covers from me, even rod sleeves, I've got the room on it is for your text, your logo. I can customize anything, and I do.
Nice.
I get the question often, like, what's your minimum order? The answer is 1, because I do everything custom. So, like, if you wanted to get a set of Power Pole covers with the Rooted Podcast logo on the side of that, costs $10 extra for me to print it on.
Wow, that's awesome. I wish I had a set of Power Poles to do that with.
When you do, I know a guy.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
So, hey, speaking of all these baits and lures and things, let's talk smallies for a second, because I myself love smallmouth fishing. What is your go-to lure bait, favorite lure bait, whatever you want to call it?
I got two.
Yeah.
First of all, if they're bedding, I like a chartreuse Ned rig. Get a little 4-inch worm on a Ned. I like a chartreuse on that because I can see it in the water, and I'm just sight fishing a bed with that. But if I'm like fan casting, I like a small Kitech on a ball head.
Okay. Nice.
That's just, that's my favorite little bait. It's just like a little swim bait on a ball head.
Gotta love it.
Yeah,
Have you ever
so
fished Tennessee yet?
No, actually, no.
No.
My son went to school at a down along the Black Warrior River. All right, he went to University of Alabama, and so
that's
I'd go
all right.
down and visit him, and we'd fish the Coosa a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But I really
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
fished in. I haven't fished in Tennessee River, of course, but I haven't fished in
Yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
Well, I'll
Gotcha.
tell you, the smallmouth in the actual river systems, not the big rivers, but the smaller ones like the Harpeth, and where there's a lot of current in a small area, they fight something crazy. So this is my favorite lure. I don't know how well you can see it, but this is one of the woolly boogers that I tied. And they really like the purple color too, especially in the spring. So I'll tie these things up, put a purple wrap on it, have purple tail feathers, and I usually use a gold bead on the front, gold or silver. And like I was talking about earlier, not only does it go in that water column right, but it also gives them that pop of, man, look at that right there. There's some fresh grub. And boom, they hit that thing from under the rocks. So what I like to do on these rivers is I'll see where the bend of the river is, and I'll find those rock structures on the edges, and I'll just let that bait drift past it. And that's when I start hammering them, is when I get right in that current where it's hitting those rocks, and that bait's just going at the speed of the current. And that's for fly fishing. Now, when I switch over to my spin reel, because I like the ultralight fishing for smallies and all that too, just because I like the fight. I love the fight of, bending that rod over, ripping that drag out. I don't know what it is about it. That's what I enjoy. And I'll use rooster tails. That's my favorite, is a rooster tail. I just cast it across the current, bring it back through it, and it seems like all the time you can catch fish, especially when they're spawning and on the beds. And oh man, it's just so much fun, because not only do we have the smallies here, but we also have red eyes too, which are pretty cool little bass, and they don't get very big. Most of the time they're about the size of my hand in the river system anyway. Just some pretty neat stuff to get out and catch that, even on a ultralight rod. It's just it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of fun because I didn't grow up fishing these smaller rivers like this. I grew up fishing the Tennessee River on Lake Guntersville. That thing's huge, massive. I mean, there's so much ground to cover. I never really learned how to fish it because there's just so much to know. But I started using my duck hunting knowledge to do it, because I was able to, when I'm duck hunting, I'm always looking for divers, right? So they're hitting the humps where all the crustaceans are. So I learned where the humps were based on where the ducks were. And then I went back and fished them. So it was kind of a double-edged sword there. I was catching the fish and then shooting the ducks in the winter. So it all panned out pretty good, but it was kind of crazy how that worked, because I don't know how to read a fish finder very well. I mean, I see a fish on there, I'm like, all right, sweet, here's a whole pile of them. Let's chunk a line in here.
Now, as far as my fish in Tennessee, I got a few invites out there that I got to get back down and take care of and pick that up. The Knoxville area has been very kind to me when I went down there for that East Tennessee show, and I met some great people. The folks who run it, Bunch Marine, they've just been really, really, really good to me. In fact, I look forward to going back. I'll be back there again next year because they were so good. Also, a friend of my son's is a young guy named Rob G. And Rob is a freshman on the Elite Series. And this year, he is the first person ever that I sponsored. So if you're watching the weigh-ins, if you're watching the live and Rob is on there, you can keep an eye on for the Rod Warrior USA logo. It's on his jersey. It's on his boat. It's I figure any friend of my son's, right? I'll take care of him.
Yeah, that's cool. So speaking of trade shows, do you do a lot of those? Do you? I mean, you seem to enjoy them.
That was the first one I ever did, and part of it is because that layoff I mentioned. I got the time to do it. Good. So, and that's what I'm going to focus on. Next year, I'm doing at least 2, maybe as many as 4, maybe 5. I think I want to get out and do the Classic Expo next year.
Yeah, the one that's right next door to you?
Well, no. The Bassmaster Classic is going to be down in Texas.
Gotcha. Yeah, there is a so obviously you got, the Classic, you got iCast, right? Those are like the big ones for as far as the fishing goes. But there's the biggest one ever right there in Harrisburg. 10 day, you may look into that. Like Ben and I, we went to the NWTF show this past February in Nashville. That's more geared, towards the turkey hunter.
Yeah.
But there's also fishing and deer hunting and ducks and yada. It's pretty much everything. But I personally have always loved trade shows. That's how I got introduced to this industry. So they've always kind of held a special place to me. So I just was kind of curious on that, but I did not realize that was your first one.
Yeah, that was my first one ever. Oh shoot, I'm losing this again. Give me a sec.
Nah, you're good.
Here we go.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, y'all there?
Yeah.
Here.
I don't know what the heck I did. I must have covered something. Try this again. I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's good. Don't worry about it. Not a problem.
Not a problem.
I don't got you anymore.
We can see you.
Okay, I'm just going to let it go here then. If you can see me, that's fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, that was my first trade show ever. And part of the fun of it was I spent weeks in advance preparing general stuff to take with me, right? Standardized rod sleeves, whole bunch of colors. And I brought them with me. I had like 13, 14 colors of rod sleeves in all different sizes. Setting up the booth, designing the booth was fun, what to put on the banners to have hanging and everything. And I think it all worked out kind of well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, especially for your first one, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. And like I said, I plan on doing more next year. One of the things I really liked about it was meeting lots of good people, people who came, they bought product from me. They saw something I didn't have. They still ordered from me at the show. And then I'd fill it when I got back to my shop. Like taking care of people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, we have one last question for you here, and it is, being a business owner, do you have any advice for somebody that wants to start a business, a new business owner? What kind of advice can you give them starting out?
Yeah, it's garbage, but I mean, that's not garbage. But I mean, you've heard it so many times. It's old, it's trite. Do what you love, I spent forever doing this corporate job that I learned to despise. But, making this stuff for people, I love it. I get emails saying, I got my box in the mail. Everything fits perfectly. I love it. It's better than I ever hoped for. Nothing like that gives me the pleasure more than that. That's just, so what's the advice for someone wanting to get into it? Find something you like, find something and do it with passion.
Awesome. That is awesome.
Have it.
There you have it, folks. That is some outstanding advice, because that is just it. Find something you love and you never work a day in your life. Pete, we greatly appreciate you being on, and we really appreciate your product and what you're doing for the fishing community. I can't wait to give it a try and protect my rods for longevity and future fishing expeditions.
Sure. My pleasure. I thank you for having me on.
Hey, yes, you are very welcome, sir. So Pete, what's your website called?
Sure. It's
Facebook, all that stuff.
It's Rod Warrior USA. Also, if you just go to Rod Warrior, RODWARRIOR. It's a play on Road Warrior originally, but rodwarrior.com will bring you to me. And,
awesome.
I look forward to your business if you want something.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, you heard it first. If you want to protect your equipment, fishing rods or power pole covers or any other products that Mr. Pete has there, be sure to head over to his website and give him a look and order you some rod covers.
There you go. And guys, please do not forget, like, share, check us out on all of the socials and anywhere that you listen to a podcast. Pete, thank you again, my friend, and we'll see you guys later.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir. Redneck out. For all things Rooted Podcast and Rooted Television, and I mean hats, shirts, hoodies, and other merch, check out our friends at CH Lone Star Pro and the link that is in our description.